So, hello, Steve from Thonk. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you.
How is Superbooth treating you?
It's been amazing, yeah. It's been really good.
Excellent. You've got some new Music Thing Modular stuff to show, right?
Yeah, that's right. We've got 5 new modules.
Wow.
The first thing to talk about really is that we've kind of split the range into 2 different lines. There's the main line, which has all the Turing machine, radio music, chord organ in with the aluminium faceplates, and then we've split out the microphony, the magnetophone and the electrophone into what we're just kind of calling the phon line, and they have a black panel instead, and kind of distinguishing those 2 things. So yeah, right now I've got a radio music playing some samples, and that's going through 2 of our new modules, and the first one being the new version of the Spring Reverb that we're putting out soon. And we've kind of responded to things that people have told us they want for this. It's got a feedback loop built in, it's got a dedicated wet output and a feedback loop that you can patch into as well. And then also there's an expander, so you can bring the phonos to the real spring tank out the front, and you can also blend between the real spring tank and the digital tank inside, and so you can you couldn't do that before. It was either or, so you can kind of really dial in the exact tone you want, and if you want to get really quite creative, you can start playing with the feedback and get some nice drones going.
There's CV over feedback as well.
There's CV over feedback, cool. Yeah. And then this is then going through our new graphic EQ module, which is a 7-band graphic equalizer. It's something that you just can't really get in Euro, so in particular it works great in the feedback path of something like the Spring, but yeah, very straightforward. It's just a very easy way of really kind of doing large frequency changes on the sound, but it's very high quality, very low noise, so you can really maintain your signal quality with that. It's also very useful if you're using something like an envelope follower, then you can really dial in, maybe a really specific frequency band that you want to be hitting. Then next to that, we've got the startup module. Now, Tom designed this very much as an answer to the question, what should be the first Eurorack module I get if I'm building one of those little lunchbox cases. They're starting to get really popular again. So in one really small package, it gives you a tap tempo LFO, which also can act as your master clock with 4 different waveforms. It's got a random waveform, a saw, a sine, and a pulse. And then it has a mixing system, which has 6 inputs, and they are low gain, medium gain, and high gain. So you don't have attenuation over that, but in a small system you don't necessarily want to be wasting space on too much attenuation, so it's a more creative way of patching.
I suppose you could do kind of attenuation passively anyway, so...
Exactly, and yeah, you could have, and also you can just kind of filter differently and stuff like that. And then it also has a stereo input, so if you've got a little Volca as well, something like that, or you just want to, pipe in some field recordings or something from your phone, then, you can do that too. And then finally, it's got a headphone output. So, Tom designed a little Eurorack USB power system, and people are powering little cases off the USB phone batteries that are around now, which, they last a long time, so that's really good.
So all of these are DIY only, right?
They are all DIY only, yeah.
And all the kits can be bought on Thonk?
Kits can be bought on Thonk. Also, we should talk about the new software on the radio music as well. So we've rewritten the software for radio music from the ground up. It's a lot more efficient now. You can use WAV files directly on the card. You don't need to convert to the more esoteric raw format. And if I kind of show you on here, we have you can now trigger up into audio rate. So you can really get into almost granular territory with it now. And another nice little feature is that it will also play the tip-top 1 cards as well. So you can put those in and they'll start playing straight away. We've also done lots of updates to chord organ as well in the past few weeks.
So that's kind of an alternative firmware for the radio music, right?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, you can either just turn your radio music into the chord organ, or you can create a whole new module. And yeah, it's a chord player basically.
And there's like a text file, right, that you can write your own kind of chords.
It's a chord oscillator is the best way to think about it. And on you can basically define your own chord shapes and upload those to the module. And then you've got CV control over the root note and the chord shape. And it's really easy to get chord stabs going and a kind of paraphonic kind of thing going on. So yeah, we've split the module range, and we now have the black panel range, which is the fun range, and that includes the microphony that's been out for quite a while now, the contact mic preamp, and it also includes the magnetophone, which we're releasing for sale next week, which we kind of debuted last year at Superbooth. And essentially it's very simple. It's a cassette tape head, but without a transport mechanism. So you become the transport mechanism. So here we have a mono cassette tape head just on a cable, and we have some magnetic tape laid out here, so it's really easy to very straightforward. So it's kind of like scratching vinyl, but a lot easier, which appeals to a lot of people. So we're really interested to get this out there because we think that ultimately, working like this is really good fun, but it's kind of one of those things where if people start making machines that work with it, then we could get into a really interesting place, maybe with rotating wheels with tape on, or the kind of classic experiment was Laurie Anderson had a violin bow with tape on it and a tape head on the violin. And so we just want to push that kind of more experimental angle as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers, Ed.